Chrissybil Boulin, qui lui-même c'est une éducatrice, c'est un monde qui fait éducation à distance, c'est un tuteur. On a rapidement ouais avec moi. Comment mesurer l'impact pandémie sur l'éducation à distance en particulier?
Good evening, everyone. Bonsoir tout le monde. Je me remercie Patrick pour me chance pour me parler avec la communauté haïtienne. Je vais faire un petit parler en anglais, un petit parler en créole, parce que je pense que le message est important, pas seulement pour les parents, mais pour les gens même. With so much happening right now, our number one priority is making sure that we keep our kids safe. And I think that when we talk about our children, we have to think that safety is physical, but it also has to do with emotional safety. And today what we're going to talk about is education. Education is a milestone. It is something that is extremely essential for children. And I want to make sure that we talk through how parents can help their kids in this time.
As you know, education is also a social interaction between teacher and student.
Right.
That feeling is mutual. How do you evaluate the virtual learning experience?
The virtual learning space, yes. So I'm very happy to address you, Patrick. As you know, I was the first Haitian American to get my master's from the University of Cambridge. And so for me, I understand that education is a transformational journey. It's something that allows students to not only connect with their own abilities, talents, and skills, but to share that with the rest of us. Anti-gens difficile pour un pile ti moun ajuster yo, là n'a parlé de education online. En pile fois ou après l'école yo pas paré pour ça, yo pas connaît que ça t'a privé. So en pile fois ou est que même professeur yo, en pile là-dedans yo pas entraîné pour yo servir computer, spécialement professeur qui plus grand yo. En pile ti moun yo, spécialement ti moun qui na elementary school. We're really concerned with elementary school kids. They tend to learn better one-on-one. Rather than being on a virtual platform. Also, if we think about kids that have special needs, perhaps a kid has ADHD or autism or other learning difficulties, that might make the interaction online especially difficult. So I own a tutoring company, Jumpstart Tutoring Center, and the way that we're giving back to the community is helping parents know that even if the students are learning online, if they have one-on-one support, that is a huge way to combat the issues that we see happening. One thing, having one-on-one support helps kids stay accountable. Yo gon moun ki lave yo, ki kapab assurer yo que ti moun yo a fait devoir yo, que ti moun yo
pas trop distrait tout parce que c'est vrai que school board là et voyez un computer ba ti moun nan mais on connaît ti moun yo pas assez responsable alors là que ti moun dans chambre avec un computer et s'il pas en contact avec professeur et pendant que fait face to face la fête il prend la école pour à la game et c'est là justement parents doivent beaucoup plus responsables, plus vigilants et ça c'est pour parents qui là, mais let's think about parents qui pas dans cas là, qui obligent à travailler.
C'est ça qui est difficulté. Même j'en dis the computer, it can be used for many great things, as your parents know as well. It can be used as a distraction. So one of the positive things about what's happening is that there are literally thousands of free resources online. There are thousands of free resources online. Si nous allons sur Google et puis nous appelons FSA, et puis nous mettons grade level ti moun nan, depuis vous mettez reading ou bien math ou bien science, ou ap saisi ouais, que gen pile ressources que vous capable servir gratis. So I recommend that parents take some time to look. I'm talking about games, practice problems, videos, so that can keep the kids engaged. But yes, if possible, it'd be good to come up with a schedule with the student ahead of time. Maybe you let them know Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we're studying reading. Tuesday, Thursday, we're studying math. Keep them accountable. Maybe give them a reward. If you know that there's their favorite restaurant or there's something that they would like to get, you tell them, hey, I'm going to check in on you. If you get this done, then you get this reward.
Let me share with you, Chrissybil, a comment made by a teacher from Broward School. The kids being at home, that's not working. They are not learning. What is your thought?
It's really sad because we're obviously facing a crisis, but I can tell you in the future we will get past this virus, and in the future the educational gaps that our kids are experiencing is going to be something that will be another pandemic in it of itself. I mean, think about it. The children are literally the future of our community. They're the future leaders of our world. So you have kids that were already falling behind, and thinking about the fact that they may not be logging in. We know, unfortunately, some kids even went as far as pawning their laptops, so they sold them. We know that there are many states where the retention rate of kids actually even coming online could be anywhere from 20 to 40% of kids that are completely absent. And so logging in is one issue. Actually being engaged and keeping up with the work is a whole nother issue. And so parents are going to have to take a more proactive role, whether that means homeschooling, coming up with a schedule ahead of time and rewarding good behavior, or hiring a private tutor. These are all things that parents are going to need to consider now, because it is our responsibility at the end of the day to make sure that they learn. And if they don't, we all as a community suffer.
Nous voyons qu'au niveau de Broward, le superintendant fait qu'on a que il pas qu'à ouvrir l'école là pour année scolaire là à cause du fait que il y a un pile staff qui eux même yo âgé, yo très vulnérable, yo pas voulu que dans l'interaction avec ni professeur ni étudiant yo staff member yo même yo aller dans des difficultés et yo paraît plus vulnérable pour coronavirus. Ça pose un problème pour que année scolaire là pas faite au niveau de Broward.
Yeah, comprends ça. We have to consider a lot of different things. One thing we have to consider, thank God, around the world and in our country, the rates of children actually dying of this virus are very, very, very low. So one of the things that we're concerned about is when kids go home, perhaps to a great-grandparent or someone that could be high risk, if they'd be able to transmit it. But so far, the early research shows that's not as high as we might think, which is a good thing. I think there are ways to work around it. For example, I remember I went to Silver Trail Middle School, and then I went to Everglades High School. They were going to build a new high school because it was so packed. And what they did was they actually had us stay, what do they call the portable schools? The portables. It was portables. It was outdoors. And they had us spread out.
Mobile.
Exactly, mobile, yes. And I think something like that could be a great option to consider. If the kids are someplace where we can open the doors, we can spread them out more, maybe having less kids in a classroom. These are things that could help. Perhaps teachers that are high risk, they could learn to do things mobilely and virtually, but over 45% of teachers around the country are under the age of 45. A lot of teachers are really young. And so I think that there are ways that we could work around this and accommodate, but I do think we would be at a huge loss if we don't fight for the right for our kids to still, receive one-on-one learning or learning in a classroom.
Chrissybil Boulin, as a tutor, share with me your experience with the Jumpstart program.
Yeah, so Jumpstart Tutoring Center was founded in late 2018. We're a 5-star rated tutoring company. I got my master's from the University of Cambridge, and I worked in Europe for a while, but decided that I wanted to come back in the community because I can see in my life and in the life of my family members how education has been transformational. And so we hire tutors and teachers, and we connect them with students. It's been amazing, Patrick. A lot of kids don't necessarily learn in the traditional format of how schools are set up. Our schools, haven't really changed much since the 40s and 50s. And so sometimes kids think they're not smart if they're not understanding things in the way that it's being explained. So me starting Jumpstart gave me the opportunity to have kids learn one-on-one. So maybe your kid is more visual, they're more auditory. And, seeing the kids build confidence in themselves, seeing them believe that, they are smart and that they can contribute to the world. I mean, it's been incredible. Not to mention our SAT program, #1 in South Florida. We've been able to save families, especially in the Haitian community, thousands of dollars off of college tuition cost by helping their kids prepare. But it's been an incredible journey. I have to tell you, Patrick, I'm more excited about what we're going to do in the future because the COVID now is opening a whole new door for innovation and education.
You can say that, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Chrissybil Boulin, qui a grand pile talent, qui t'a remis avancer dans le domaine de l'éducation et plutôt font différence dans la vie de Timonio. Good luck.
Thank you so much for having me.